what you mean is not correct.
No way. When they bring coming and give me a bed.
For the love of the game, right?
Tomorrow, so don't have me acting crazy. That you take away my sorrow. And I thank God that I live today. And I thank God that I live tomorrow. So don't have me acting crazy. That you take away my sorrow. Steady on my grind. My business at the mind. Now I'm money at the mind. Steady on my grind.
Alex! Leave it first! Yes, Sebastian.
Find him!
But they need press somebody. Good run. Good play. Fresh on the place. Too much rush of blood. Guy, chill small, chill small.
Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Just let's have a feast of some sport there. That's rugby, a sport that really Nigerians are into. You'll be surprised. A lot of Nigerian guys are playing rugby right now. We have league running, and the good thing is that that particular game was played in Abuja. Now, let's look at our first story that has to do with handball. Nigeria under 18 handball team will be going to Costa Rica for the IHF Trophy Intercontinental Championship. And right now, they are in preparatory camp as they are really edging closer to go to that tournament that will be coming up in March. Right now, the team are really trying their best to get the best out of these players. Talking about the coaching crew, let's look at those players that are in camp. Talking about the list of players that have been selected, we have the likes of Karim Farouk, Kuti Akorede, you have Sulaiman Aziz, Faloki Christian, Obabori Samuel, you have Mukiala Fuad, Mohamed Mustafa, Shagari John, Sulaiman Sani, Isiaka Mustafa, Tahiru Lawal, Rufai Aliyu Ajibike Karim, you have Ojo Olua Benga, you have Ganiyu Aduragbemi, and you have Muhammad Musa, Sani Mutari. 70 of them are trying to see how they can fine-tune themselves before the main event over there in Costa Rica. And I love the fact that the technical crew are working hard to get the best from these players. I have in the studio to talk sport with me at this hour is Yusuf Akogo. Good to have you.
Always a pleasure being here.
You see, the boys are there trying to see how they can better their laws when it comes to handball. You know, earlier on we talked about rugby, now we switch to handball. And like I always say, not everyone will play football. Rugby, handball. And we have boys that are into this sport. Now, we just mentioned 17 players are in camp for the World Cup, under 18. Can you beat that? Yes. As we have under 17 footballers who are playing for our team, we also have under 18 handballers who are right now in camp and they are ready to go to Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's a good one, although not a very popular sport in Nigeria. Even though we know that quite a whole lot of them, a whole lot of clubs, handball football clubs actually exist because of Nigerian love for football, basketball, and probably some others sport like table tennis and then athletes and all of that. So many of us tend not to really pay attention to this sport. But I think it's a good one that in Nigeria we're actually getting to participate at this level, and I think with time and the more investment, like I always say, is need to invest more in some of these sporting, activities, and of course, the competition, so that we can actually become popular, just like the other countries who are actually into this same sport as the case may be. Well, we just roll out there the list of Nigerian players. This under 18, they'll be going to the World Cup. They call it rather trophy. That's IHF trophy championship that is coming up in Costa Rica. But the good thing is that the technical crew are working hard to see how they can get the best from these boys. They actually conquered Africa, and now they want to also go out there to do well at the international level. IHF, International Handball Federation Championship there. Well, we hope that they will do well at the competition that will be starting in March in Costa Rica. Quickly, let's move away and talk about Nigerian football. This time around, Super Eagles. There are some Nigerians that apply their trade abroad, those who were born abroad or those that were born here before they were taken abroad. But really, one of those players, his name is Felix Uduakhai, is doing well with Augsburg. And right now, Coach Peseiro is already talking with him. He's in contact with Augsburg German-born defender Felix Uduakhai for Super Eagles. Although Uduakhai has been palliative form for Augsburg, he has played with German underage football, but he can still play for Super Eagles. And looking at the problem we are facing in Super Eagles defense, the kind of player will be nice if they can get him down. Although we have players in Nigeria, yes, but if you can see anyone out there whose performance can actually be better off, we can put him.
Oh, certainly. I think we need to learn from Morocco right now as it is now. Prior to the 2022 World Cup, the coach of Morocco did see that all Moroccan players, as long as you are from Morocco, and it doesn't matter where you are
playing, if you like playing in the moon,
where you play in the moon, that the door to the national team is open to all of them. So he was able to bring in those, but even those that were actually quarreling with the former coach, he brought all of them together under the same roof, talk to them, relate with them, and then built a team that we actually made history as the first African team to actually made it to the semi-final at the World Cup. So I think getting the like of Uduakhai to Super Eagles, I think is a very good one. We need the best Nigerian players right now to come back home and play for Nigeria. Nobody is saying don't play for other countries or don't play for for them or at whatever level, maybe age grade level and all of that. But maybe when it comes to the Super Eagles at the senior level, I think it's better to represent your country at that level. And I think we need to get them in, create more competition, and actually get the best team to represent Nigeria as it is. It's going to be a very, very difficult task for Coach Peseiro as it is right now, because of the kind of relationship and the kind of perception that some of these players have about their country. So they need to be convinced. They need to be given that confidence that coming to represent Nigeria it should be something of a pride, just like we see in other countries for them. So I think the NFF also need to do a whole lot more in order to get some of these boys in. And most of the what we hear in the past, you are very conversant with that. It's about NFF and the Nigerian Football Federation not really taking care of these boys, especially when it comes to match bonuses and other things.
And even if they are injured,
even if they are injured, nobody cares about them. You don't even call them and all of that. So I think that kind of attitude we need to change and see how we can actually get the best of Nigeria to represent Nigeria. I think Morocco has actually set the pace. I think the rest of Africa should follow.
The rest of Africa should follow there. Coming from Uduakhai, really, Super Eagles will be fortified if the likes of Felix Uduakhai can make their way to that team. And especially, we should also look inward. There are so many good players in our league. I'm sure Coach Peseiro is really working hard, because I've seen him in so many matches where he has been able to pen down some names. Hopefully, they can make any squad whenever Nigeria is playing their trade against any international teams. Now, from that particular story, let's talk about the one that will be happening tonight. Matches will be starting anything from 6 p.m. Some games will be on, and that has to do with Europa League. We talk about Europa League now. That's the second tier of UEFA competitions. Now, Europa League will be coming up. Now, this second leg, let's look at fixtures slated for tonight in that particular category. Well, a big one. It will be Midtjylland versus Sporting Lisbon. The first leg ended 1-1 in that aggregate level. You have Monaco against Bayer Leverkusen. Monaco actually leading the pack there, 3-2. What will happen between Nantes and Juventus? We'll be looking at that. They played 1-1 in the first leg in Turin, and now the second leg will be coming up in France. PSV Eindhoven against Sevilla, another big one there, although they were able to do well. That's talking about Sevilla, who are not really doing well in their league. Yes. But now, the first leg, they won it 3-0. And Union Berlin against Ajax, 0-0. First leg, Manchester United against Barcelona, the biggest match to look at. You have 2-2 there, the first leg. Reims versus Shakhtar Donetsk, 2-1 in favor of the Ukrainian team, Shakhtar. And you have Roma against Salzburg of Austria. Salzburg leading the pack there with 1-0, but the second leg is coming up. And what happened in the city of Rome, where the sleeping giant, as they called Roma, will they be waking up from their slumber tonight? Anything can happen. Now, Yusuf, let's take it. We are looking at two matches. So, that's Manchester United, Barcelona, Nantes, Juventus. So probably we can add Roma, Salzburg. But let's start with Manchester United, Barcelona. The first leg ended 2-2 in that encounter. And you expect another powerful display tonight, because both of them know what is at stake. They need this game. Somebody must win. If they lie, they play 0-0 till 100 years to come. They must end it with somebody must win.
Absolutely. So it's going to be a difficult game tonight. To see the two clubs that were, known, competing in the Champions League in 2008, 2009, 2011, and now playing the Europa League. Absolutely, the irony of life. So I think tonight is it's going to be another interesting night. We saw what happened last week at Camp Nou, where the counter attack, from both teams. I think we're going to see more of that again tonight. So United is playing at home, and that is not a guarantee that they should go to sleep. So Barcelona is coming to town. You have to be on top of your game if really you want to beat them and qualify for the next round of 16. One interesting thing about this year European competition is the fact that no more away goal rules. So if you play draw both home and away, you should expect that you have to play 30 more minutes. And if the two teams are not separated within those 30 minutes, then the penalty shootout will decide the game. So tonight is going to be another night at Old Trafford. I think I was listening to Eric Den Haag last night or thereabout, and he was saying that he's having a match plan to beat Barcelona.
Yes, he's having his plan. Xavi is also having
his own plan. But one interesting thing tonight is that Barca will be missing two key players. Gavi is suspended and Pedri is injured. So I think that will count for Manchester United tonight. So if United can actually take their chances, and then
I actually caught you there. If we, that shows that you represent Manchester United. I can see that.
Of course, I have soft spots for United.
No, don't say soft spots. That we.
I'm a United fan. So
now you're talking.
So if United can actually, take their chances tonight, I know more chances will be created with Marcus Rashford, Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, and co in that mix. So I think we should be able to put this game to.
Now, talking about Rashford,
to bed.
talking about Rashford, he has really been fantastic form so far this season, scoring a lot of goals. Now, do you see him scoring tonight?
Yeah, likely. The way it is now is in any United game, you expect Rashford to score. It's no longer surprise. It doesn't surprise anybody again if he scores. So he's done that for since after the World Cup. He scored more than 16 or 17 goals in how many matches. So I think there is another night for him, and I actually expect him to do well tonight. For Barcelona, I think Rafinha did well in the first leg, and I do not expect anything less. So tonight is going to be a night that who wants it most will actually take it tonight.
And I'm sure you're going to be tilting towards your club, right?
Certainly, but again, you have to be on top of your game.
Of course, when you are playing the Blaugranas, you need to be on your game because it won't be easy. Barcelona knows they are onions when it comes to football, and you are not just going to take them with easy glove. You have to pound them hard if you have to beat them, because Xavi and his entire squad right now are battered to see how they can turn things around at Old Trafford. The first leg over there in Camp Nou ended 2-2, and it's anyone's game right now. A big one there coming from Yusuf Akogu concerning that particular match between Barcelona versus Manchester United at Old Trafford in England. A big one there. And now let's focus on Nantes Juventus. Nantes Juventus also a match that you need to see what's going to be happening when it comes to this game. The first leg ended also 1-1, so it's also open for either of the team. We have a Nigerian there, Simon Moses. They'll be taking on the old ladies at their core. The travel to Turin, they got a draw, a point rather, and now they'll be playing at home. Do you think Nantes can at least turn things around against Juventus?
Especially against this Juventus team, as it is right now. This Juventus team is one of the weakest Juventus team I've seen in years. So, and I think as it is, I think getting a draw away from home for Nantes is a very good result for them.
But don't you think experience will actually count for Juventus? Looking at the fact that in Europe, they play with the big boys in Champions League.
Yes, but the same experience didn't count for them when they played at home. So again, going away to, you see the Nantes boy, very young team, athletic, energetic Nigerian player there. Simon is also there doing very well. So we're going to see a very, very close game today, but I think the French guys will actually progress.
You are so sure that Nantes will progress.
Absolutely.
But you have forgotten something so soon. Juventus were deducted 15 points in the race for Scudetto. Yes. Now they are back. They have actually crawl back. They started winning their games, and now they are in the top 10 race. Even though they are not among the top 5, at least they'll be able to fight their way into top 10.
Yes.
Despite being deducted of 15 points.
Yes. I know that in the league they're actually trying to. They don't want to go back to relegation zone. Like
they were able to get them
at the time they were demoted. You understand? So I think they do not want that to repeat itself again. So that is why they're actually trying to you see how they can actually do well in Serie A and then stay back in the league. But in the Europa League, that is not a familiar territory for Juventus. They are very used to Champions League. On one or few occasions that you see them in the lower in the Europa League. But I think for what we saw of the first leg in Turin, I think. I give this game to Nantes.
Well, let's see what Nantes will be offering against Juventus, the old lady, who will be fighting hard over there in France against Moses Simon's team. Now, something seems to be really ready because of their yellowish jersey, so colorful there. Now, let's talk about Europa Conference League, the third tier of UEFA competition. Europa Conference League was won by AS Roma the first time they started it, and right now they are also fighting hard now in the Europa League. But now let's talk about the Conference League fixtures that will be coming up. You have the likes of Lech Poznan against Bodo Klimt, starting from the bottom of the games there. They have 0-0 the first leg. They play against a Polish team. KAA again from Belgium against Karabakh of Azerbaijan there. Azerbaijan team, Karabakh, are actually leading by a lone goal. That's the first leg. The second leg is meant for Belgium. Fiorentina against Sporting Braga, 4-0 against Sporting. What would they be doing? I still remember when Echejile make Braga so popular in Nigeria. Yeah. Now they lost 4-0 in the first leg against Fiorentina in the city of Florence. And you have FC Basel of Switzerland against Trabzonspor of Turkey. Trabzonspor won the first leg at home, and they'll be traveling to Switzerland. They'll be facing them in this game. Who wins that particular game? Anderlecht against Ludogorets Razgrad of Bulgaria there. What will happen there? Well, let's see what happens against them as they play against Anderlecht of Belgium, Partizan Belgrade, Sheriff Tiraspol of a team, they know how to play football when it comes to playing the Europa Conference League. But Sheriff Tiraspol, can they hold their own against Partizan Belgrade? 1-0 in the first leg, and now they are still going to be playing at home. Dnipro versus Larnaca in that game that will be coming up. That's a team from Cyprus, also Sheriff Tiraspol. They are leading by a lone goal against Dnipro, and you have CFR Cluj against Lazio. Lazio, they have the first leg in their favor, 1-0, and now the second leg away to CFR Cluj, who wins this game. Those are the matches coming up, but we are looking at two matches, Basel Trabzonspor, and you have Fiorentina Braga. Basel Trabzonspor, you see Trabzonspor, they got 1-0 in the first leg in Turkey, and the second leg right now, they'll be playing away in Switzerland.
Yeah, Basel is one of the elite clubs in Switzerland. They've had, a couple of good players, some from Africa and all of that. But again, going against Trabzonspor, they are going that game with a goal deficit, but they are playing at home, so they have advantage of qualifying for the round of 16. And in this
that should be round of 8. They are in round of 15 now.
Round of 8 rather, as the case may be. So I think for me, it doesn't really matter what happened in the first leg. I think Basel, given their pedigree, I think they have a chance.
But they have a chance, despite the fact they are 1 goal deficit behind.
They have a chance, yes. This is a team that have done so well in Champions League. They're beating clubs like Manchester United and a couple of European clubs. So playing in the third tier European competition, I think they have a chance.
Well, let's see, maybe they will have that chance in this third tier. That's talking about the Europa Conference League. And now let's consider Fiorentina. Fiorentina will also be playing their game. That's another game that will be coming up. Can they win this game? Because we know that they've done the business in the first leg. Talking about Fiorentina there, they won that game 4-0 in the first leg, and now they will be trying to see how they can at least add more against Sporting Braga.
Yeah, I think Fiorentina and of course Lazio, they did so well for themselves in the first leg. They did the job away from home. And now, Fiorentina did the job away from home, 4-0 they won against Braga. Just like you said, our own Echegile was one of the top club in that player in that club some years back. So I think they've done the job, they've done the business. I think it's just for them to come home, relax, and of course, see out the game. But for Lazio, going into the game with a goal lead away from home, I think they are also going to go through to the round of to the quarterfinal. And then of course, I think given what we have seen and the performance of the Italian club and their pedigree in this competition, I think likely the cup is likely to remain in Italy.
Seriously?
Roma is holding it right now. I think they will likely keep it.
Because of Fiorentina and Lazio.
Of course, Lazio.
Okay, we wait to see. Maybe by the time the cup the final of the competition is being played, I'll remind you if it's going to be in Italy or not. We've been giving you fixtures that will be coming up in the Europa League and also Europa Conference League, the second and third tier of UEFA competitions there. UEFA Champions also, this first one, we've also talked about it in our earlier event there. Now, quickly, let's run through some transfer stories here and there. We quickly start with Jordan Pickford, England goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford is close to extend contract with Everton. He has been fantastic form for that club. He has been with them for a very long time. Now, Pickford could be extending his contract.
Yeah, he's been a loyal, what I call it, servant
Evertonian.
at Everton. Yes, he's been there for a while. Even when they were almost fighting in the relegation, when they were in the relegation water during the era of Lampard, he was still there with them. And to see him, extending his contract, it shows the kind of loyalty that he has for and respect that he has for the club. So it's a very good one for him. I respect him a lot. He's a very good goalkeeper, #1 for England. So he's, I think he's a goalkeeper that I think will do well when he go to an elite club like maybe Manchester, Chelsea, and the rest of them. But I really do not know why he wants to remain at Everton. Maybe he doesn't really want to win any.
He's already a king in Everton.
He doesn't want to compete for trophies. I think a goalkeeper of his caliber should be more ambitious.
Where do you want him to go now?
A couple of clubs that will want the like of Pickford. Well, I really do know. It depends on him making himself available. A club like Manchester United, Manchester City, of course, the like of Chelsea. I think Chelsea, if there's any club that need a goalkeeper right now, I think it's Chelsea. So probably Jordan Pickford, I think he will do a better job.
Well, we're talking about Jordan before there. Let's quickly run through some stories trending. We look at Arsenal to bat to Borussia Dortmund, Newcastle and Juventus for Real Valladolid's right back. He's a defender. His name is Ivan Fresneda, a young lad. But right now, Arsenal are really knocking at the door to get Fresneda against the likes of Borussia Dortmund and also Newcastle United who are coming for Fresneda. We wait to see, with the Gunners get Fresneda, anything can happen in the world of transfer. Away from there, let's talk about Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar Donetsk, we attempt to resign forward Mikhailo Modric from Chelsea. They will not mind if everything doesn't go well, even though he has moved to Chelsea. But right now, they are still eyeing the player that they sold to Chelsea. If everything goes well, they will come back for him, according to Shakhtar Donetsk. That's if Chelsea are ready to drop. And the last one says Leicester City are considering Dortmund's midfielder Mahmoud Dahoud on a free transfer in the summer. They want to go for Borussia Dortmund player, that's Leicester City.
Yeah. I think they need to strengthen the team. They have not really been doing so well this season. When we thought that we were actually getting their season back on track, we actually saw that demolition that they suffered against the Manchester United last week. So I think it's a very good one for them. They can actually get, it's a free agent, so they can probably get him and of course strengthen their team.
Let's see, maybe they will get that particular player, Mahmoud Dahoud. They are talking about Leicester City, and that will be it on 360 Sport. Yusuf Akogu has been the one in the studio. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure being here.
I am Adeni Aji Shafe. Thanks for watching.